My name is Kelly Buchan and I am representing Aberdeenshire, and this piece is called The Sassenach. Can I tell you a secret as you sit under my spell? I'll wrap you up in whispers if you promise not to tell. We're convalescing quietly in a love made out of shadows, daydreaming of heartbeats while the witch hangs from the gallows. Wolves are howling underneath a moon that didn't rise. The prophets sigh in wonder, starlight pouring from their eyes. If my love for you transcended what we now call time and matter, I could be your Alice, and you my maddest hatter.
I'm Gavin Cameron, and I'm representing Angus. Noon. Where the tide laps and laps and laps, no handrail, no barrier, never has been, where the concrete path shades in with the stones, shades in with the river. Whistly chirps from unseen birds, the soundtrack under the eye of blue sky formed by cloud. A yacht not too far from the banks, yet too far, as the deck sinks gracefully, submissively, under the eye of blue sky formed by cloud. Whistly chirps from unseen birds, the soundtrack, shades in with the stones, shades in with the river, where the concrete path never has been. No handrail, no barrier, where the tide laps and laps and lapses.
To edge of lawn, the tide's the hint. Brine swells rush between seal and ling, isle and isle, lawn land joined past rust rock hone, cliffed to wind. To see eagles' pierced eyes stare, to grey smears smart, scream of oyster catchers' flight. Wind-whispered din of drowned quarries' ghosts, in sounds wild run, otters toy with fish for fun, bright damsels skate on rippled black, rough dew glints green silence, black inlets, still havens, wind to wake, wind to feel alive, wind to live and age and die, on edge of lawn.
My name is Elizabeth Carey and I am representing Ayrshire. The following two poems describe the scenery and countryside within Ayrshire. Garuk Valley. Greenery, lush greenery, as far as an eye can see. Arable farmland, animals roam free. Rye Side, named after the river that flows nearby, flanked by leafy hedgerows. Over hills and dales walkers now roam. Coal, weaving, iron workers, that was their home. Kitchen, farm machinery, honed from steel, valued objects crafted to cook a meal. Aloft, steam drifts from chimneys tall, looms silenced, new industry saw their downfall. Legions of workers in hard hats, work gear, endless automation, through windows they peer. Yonder, haunting echoes of ghosts from the past. Garuk Valley, its history can't be surpassed. This second poem is called Indian Summer. I look towards the horizon as far as the eye can see. Tall, elegant, statuesque forms, turning, burling, dancing free. To the right, towards the southwest, two hills put walkers to the test. It's clear, bright, no clouds in the way, my vision undisturbed, no skies of grey. Before me, Garuk Valley, from east to west, its majestic tapestries simply the best. An Indian summer, truly a gift. The warmth in the air gives my spirit a lift. Travelling from Largs on the road to Dalry, my soul's filled with peace. I gaze to the sky. The leaves are turning, autumn creeps in. The lambs no longer young and thin. Along the road, a glimpse of the Clyde, Irvine, heads of air, Arran to its side. Memorizing this scene in my mind's eye, Ayrshire's countryside, towns and villages lie.
Hello, I'm Iona Reid and I'm representing Banffshire. So the poem I've picked was written by my great-great-grandmother Beatrice Finlay. It is untitled, but if I was to give it a title, I think I would call it Patch. Don't be ashamed of a patch, dear. A patch is not anything based. A patch is a strip of honour and can never bring disgrace. Laugh. Let them laugh if they will, dear. Laughter is nothing to fear. 'Tis only the cowards who laugh when the cowards cheer. So hold your head more bravely in spite of the fun they make. And don't be ashamed of a patch, dear, for somebody else's sake. New clothes can be had for the asking, but somebody has to pay. So don't be ashamed of a patch, dear, to help you on your way. Thank you.
Catherine Graham Stavrakis, Massachusetts, USA. I'm happy to be representing Berwick.
In the hills of Scotland's borders was Tamlin caught by the Fairy Queen, his prisoner in our pleasure dome, to play the flute and wear the green. The Fairy Queen must sacrifice a young knight to the deal. This young knight could be Tamlin. We'll drop him in hell, then dance or reel. But Lady Janet's come this night to help the lad escape. If she can brave the terrible fright and hold him fast and save his fate. Take my hand, Lady Janet, hold me. My mouth is full of venom. I can taste all its bitterness. I must seem like a serpent to you. You must hold me tightly. My skin feels like leather. I am imprisoned and tethered, a low creeping lizard. Lady Janet, again I am changed. I am cloaked in the fur of the bear. My voice is gripped by the growl. My only hope now is you. I mean you no malice. It's the work of the Fairy Queen. She saw me dismount the great white steed and call out to you. Lady Janet, do not fear me. I now shake the great lion's mane, but I am your Tamlin. Remember, do my words to you when we met in the bed of roses. These fearsome beasts will do you no harm. The Queen has fashioned these poses. In a moment's time you will see a great glebe. a torch that will burn with the fury of hell. Extinguish it there, and with great haste, in Carterhaw's great holy well. But if you choose to depart and return to Dunbar, I'll not blame you at all. I'll remain prisoner here, or become the fairy queen's tithe to the deal. You pulled me from the milk-white steed, and here it was I fell. But hold me fast, don't let me go, if you'd love me well. You have my hand, I gie my soul, I abide by your side, till we two shall be whole. And now a burning torch I be, submerge me in the water cool, a mother naked man I'll be, from fairy spell I shall be free. I feel no burn nor fiery bite, I only see its orange light. And here's the well, my laird, drink deep, your shape will ever constant keep. Alas, here is the fairy queen, her eldritch cry rides on the wind. What speaks she from the bush of broom, now that my true love's won? I speak to ye, wee girdle of light, you've got yourself a bonny night. You've ta'en one that was one of us, the bravest of my company. Had I known, Tamlin of Roxburgh, that you would have been taken a good, I would have plucked out your eyes of green and put in 2 eyes of wood. Had I kenned Tamlin of Roxburgh, that I would have lost the day, I'd have paid my due 7 times to hell ere you'd be ta'en away. Farewell, Jeanette and bonny knight. You'll ne'er see this fair queen again, but dinna be surprised in Carterhaw your home, if a wisp of wind should take your breath, and you find you're not alone.
I'm Jerry Luce, and I'm reading a poem to represent the Isle of Bute. 703 years ago, a document was written which has been described as the most eloquent statement of the case for national independence produced anywhere in medieval Europe. It was, of course, the Declaration of Arbroath. My poem kind of riffs on that declaration, and it speaks for the non-human commons. It's called Isle of Bute Proclamation. You who listen and you who hear, you who look and you who see, there is no power to appeal to, neither pope nor denier, save ourselves, the mortals of the commons of Scotland. Each bird writing on dawn sky, each bee dancing only for others, each silvered herring in the unfathomed sea, each and each sapient. The histories of old time bear witness. Each doe on the living moor and buck on the breathing hill, and each birch and whitethorn in the mossy wood offering sweet breath, each and each unique, of its own fearful kind. Of the deeds of cruelty and massive violence, each passaging goose barnacled with winter, each migrating swallow carrying sun, will not be denied. From these evils we would be set free, and then speak with the tongues of childhood to voice wonder, then speak the voice of the curlew and the vixen's call at night, each fin and each pinion, each hoof and each claw, each gill and each beak, each soaring and each burrowing, intention in fin, volition in wing, direction in seed, purpose in willow, control in buzzard, sentience in each. As long as 100 of us remain alive, sky-coloured seas running high, hill-coloured skies, blue hills walking. Let it be said, if there is no belief to all this, then our undoing will be laid at your charge.
Hello, my name is Mandy Beattie. I'm representing Caithness, and this poem is entitled A Prescription of Trees and was first published in Drawn to the Light, issue 7. A Prescription of Trees. In this apostle of trees, my rib breath's a bluebird taking flight. I sniff truffles of pine sap, sit among mole roots to shelter from wind kettle whistles under wings of ash, birch, sycamore. This forest bath strips crepe skin with oil of wild violet, thyme, bluebells. Braille of bark maps abacus of bones as I wrap a rowan, with wrists, elbows, knees. Being here is an earth orgasm, a pulse thrum, pulling splinters from cracks where atlas moths flit, in a lava leaf of burnt umber, burnished gold, amber. Their tissue paper crinkles underfoot as I gather giant fir cones. I'm a mushroom thirsting up thimbles of dew dimples in this peace place, a clock face with no hands. Time is a tincture of twig antlers at the Clutie well. I leave with a dish of alms from this tree hearth and gift my thanks in crotchets, semibreves, minims, quavers.
Hi, I'm Leanne Mackay, and I'm representing Clackmannanshire. And this is my poem, McCall's. When we saw a woman leave her baby in a buggy outside the shop, I'd used my "I'll distract him, you grab it" joke just before on the sausage dog pup, so I didn't say a word, but I know you saw me looking. I'd never steal a baby, no, never, I say, although nobody was asking. Snatch a child right out its pram, I tut, lips pursed, as we stroll back up the hill. You with a packet of tea and the biscuits. Me with the bottle of milk, cradled in the crook of my elbow. Thanks.
My name's Hugh McMillan, I'm from Dumfriesshire. There's a poem called Waterfoot about the old port near Annan. The ribs of the old jetty and the throat of the Solway long and blue between Seafield and Bowness. The last view for many, as the first gave way to wide waters, gave way to the world. I'm thinking how hard it is to be a moment away from love, never mind a lifetime. People did it, wrote letters on the whims of the waves, sent cards and packets opened under dull or lurid skies. Remembered, I suppose, a particular smile or sky or laugh, and pinned it on a sleeve, traced it with a finger in the minutes before dawn.
Hello, Kimera How. My name's Caroline Burrows. I write under the name Verse Cycle, and I'm representing Dunbartonshire. I've written a poem in the form of a burned stanza. This is called Coordinates. 6 weeks early, at lunch o'clock, I was born upon the black rock, inside a cloud-grey concrete block, outside the grid of the neat town below the loch, where the nukes hid. Capulet, cheery.
I'm Colin Will. I'm from East Lothian, or Harringtonshire as it used to be known. This poem is called Personal Dimensions. I've never known my height, I say, as she prepares to measure me. I always put down 5'7" if asked, not knowing if that's an approximation, a fiction, or real. She stands me against the ruler, lowers the crossbar thing on my head, more accurate, probably, than a pencil line on a door jamb. Allowing for your trainers, she tells me, you're more like 5'5". 5'5"? Have I lost height? Have I always been 5'5"? How long have I misled myself? All my adult life? I suppose with Pictish ancestry, I've pictured myself as one of the short, dark men Lewis Grassic Gibbon wrote about, although any hint of dark hair's long gone. But I've not yet confronted this new reality. I'm much happier when she tells me my weight's much lower than it was a decade ago. 76 kilograms. 165 centimetres I can live with.
Judith Taylor, representing Fife, and this is a poem that was begun in Pittencrieff Park in Dunfermline, although it was finished in Duthie Park in Aberdeen. It's called Gardener's Latin. Spring again, and the juice rises sticky and clear in the veins of the public flowers. Does the council know, I wonder, what it's endorsing with these hyacinths and narcissi? Lust, bloodshed, runaway self-love. I thought not. But everywhere you look in this park's a bed devoted to some swooningly beautiful youth who died in lurid circumstances. Even the ground throbs in time to the traffic. And farther back, in the shrubbery, are the women. Hunted, forced in the catch-all name of love, they underwent a different transformation. All this glory and its withering, reenacted every spring, is not their afterlife. They armoured themselves in bark and thorns, in tough evergreen leaves, and they endure. When the year goes down again, they'll offer the passing children poison fruit.
Is mis sé Katie Campbell agus hamíonn seo san scíre inar Clach sa chaile. Dunne gun chaine gun iari, gwaiste go brach an bethe is bás. Fulinkachan hínas an inchin adach mis a cruv an arde, hielkach, tang do haverstich fieli, is gan kummel van hjallig na jestanach. Van uur, an an talu no chrochtje, kakere huye, kiensje kovaun, ik shi an oslik ore valle gun til charstjen no karretjen, a ganjen an tuyige greenut, sauna hamach talle, pien, ferrig. Echo. Cemetery in the woods. People forgotten and unwanted, forever detained in life and death. Victims of mental illness hidden amongst the tall trees donated by a generous benefactor, kept from the view of the respectable. Interred in unconsecrated ground, the whispering wind relating who is there at an easy peace on the edge of town without visits from family or friends. Despite its well-ordered setting, there's an echo. Pain. Anger. Fear.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Petrie and I'm representing Kincardineshire. A letter to my younger self. Fan your aller, and I don't mean fin you're in your 80s, more like fin you're about 40. You're nae gotta believe how your life has changed. You'll stop paying a hankering for getting bleezing ilka weekend, and the thought of trailing about half naked just to impress a loon has gotta seem mental. Teetering and tottering our cobbles, near bracking your neck for a poke of chips and cheese. Fine that may be, but nae comfy. You'll want to wear your flatties mair and jackets with hoods that are cosy. And you winna believe me when I tell you that years fae noo you'll hae a bidien living in a wee hoosie by the sea. And when you look out your window, you're gonna be fair tricket when you catch glimpses of whales. And you'll find yoursel gain misty eend when you look at the beasts in the fields. You'll spend your days clarted, yerded with dubs for walking your dog, and you'll still feel like a gype in your waldies. In fact, you'll be affronted and you'll question it. You'll be thinking, is this for the likes of me? You might nae come for farming folk, but that doesna stop you wanting to trail your hands across the gowden tips of barley. And you might nae come for fishing folk, but that doesna stop you wondering fit lies in the icy depths aneath. Dinna fecht yoursel. Let your doubts be teen hour by ahing it stirs inside you. Lean into it. Follow the dreams that you're maist feart o', my darling quine, and you'll hae a heart full and a peace you've never kent.
Anita Mackenzie, representing Kinrossshire. When did the day arrive when the promise of a future ahead, a place to emerge, a landscape in mist to explore at will, became awareness I did not seek, an apple bitten accidentally? The trap of routine and terror of choices, lost opportunity, broken connections, and time sand running out of my hands. Was it the birth of my firstborn? The death of my parents? The uprooting and moving or staying too still? Or the way I started to see myself reflected in the world? The wind, it carries a season in its breath, whilst my own catches. I sit in a place on the sands where time's meaning is changed. Geese return and go and return. Seconds become minutes, and minutes extend to years. And although the waters rise and fall over time in this arena of hills, I sense it stays the same. The standing stones witness this truth, that people shaped and stood them for reasons unknown, then passed into history, into anonymity, but the stones remain, and the giant sleeps, and for now I can sit on the sands of the loch and breathe.
This is an ode to Criffel, the hill I looked out to all through my childhood. It's called The Windy. When I think o' hame, I dinna think o' walls, a room, a roof, but the windy whar I look at it to Criffel, all through my bairnhood. Spring mist bonnet, licht blue simmer coat, back end cloudcap, wintry cranruch neb. No mine, but on a lease, whose rent is paid in ilka breath attack, and, if I'm allowed, in stour, my ain, some day on the hill's flank. I cannae own it, or bequeath it, yet I wish the same for all that wander earth, frae want, or war, or merches on a map, that they may feel the brawnness o't within. A windy we're busy, just a square, framing, hoarding, an abiding memory, and sense o' their belonging, mirror clear. Whatever the train o' years, or hope, gin hope there is, o' a return, this is the place that made me what I am.
Hi, my name is Donna Campbell and I am representing Lanarkshire. I'm in Glasgow and I'm going to be reading a poem called Strong Men, and it's from the Wanderlust Woman Extra Baggage published by Seahorse Publications. So this is called Strong Men. There is a cave in the outskirts of a fishing village that requires skilled climbing knowledge in order to experience its mystery. To attempt to enter from the sea is treacherous. Hidden rocks have a tendency to shred the bottoms of boats. Locals believe a sea monster, once human, births its young at the mouth of the cave and watches its children stretch elaborate aquamarine tentacles until they sprout the prettiest of hands. Old wifeys swear that when the sea is rough, they hear lullabies, soporific, frothy notes caught tight among slivers of dark green spray. It sends them to sleep. Brave souls roped up have on occasion entered the cave, inhaled the stillness, discovered depths not on maps. Some have found the remnants of incandescent slippery skin. They wrap them in folds of tall tales that will earn them their keep. Villagers wait with open arms, cups of strong black builders' tea, fancy little Mr. Kipling cakes. They celebrate those who escape the cave, who have the audacity to walk away unscathed, not a mark to be seen. Strong men for their maidens, ovulating in the heat of the night. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Joe Walsh and this is my poem Midlothian. They are building the new future, around our very feet, stain by stain, street by street, where the ancient heart still beats. They are removing our past, fit our moos in our een, soul by soul, grave by grave, but the ancient heart still beats. We are being transformed to suit the new century, thought by thought, memory by memory, as the ancient heart still beats. The smart seller is on the new age, the clean new golden age, without sweat and reek, but the ancient heart still beats. The heavens gaze down onto this ancient place, work it hard with toiling hands, claimed by murderous clans, and the ancient heart still beats. The great lion is in his position, aye vigilant and ready for every coming century and every coming testimony, as the ancient heart still beats. We will hae the night o' nights and the day o' days, we will hae the time o' times and the life o' lives, because the ancient heart beats on. We will witness the lion's stormy roar, guard the heart o' Midlothian, beat fiercely as ever afore, and as bravely as it ever will, in ancient place and position.
Representing Murray, Brian Hill, reading Roads Untravelled. You did not go. There is no turning, only a forest track where trees bend in secret. You turned your weary back, accepted the curious defeat of steps retraced, accepted having other destinations where light throws deeper shadows. Not going made you believe other roads more metalled, more direct, comforted you with an easier journey. As if not going was a choice to be revisited, as if the left behind could come into view and with its nostalgia bedevil you, as if your feet could skip back into a dream that lies buried in the graves of the past. Then, with one step you decided, and with one step back decided again. Standing still or retreating, you went on,
deciding nothing except to walk away. Long after the secretive trails peter out in plantations of forgotten forestry, or the overgrown ruts of wheel or hoof, heel, toe and boot steps ramble on like you over worn-to-death ground, you know, in going, there is no way back, after forks in the road, deviations, parallel journeys, one way or another. Sometimes, as if you had learned nothing about travel or roads, you see a similar light in the green distance, far beyond the grass and bracken verges, where trees hook over the path in a canopy of clasped branches. Still, you cannot decide, enticed, cautious, 1 foot on gravel, one on tractionless mud, how to make your way. In your dream, the same old ghosts tell you there are no two ways about it. Come or go, you are always where you are. No use looking behind, none in regret. Looking down a road, along it, or ahead, what you see is only road, untravelled, because you have not yet gone.
I'm Tia Thompson and I live in Nairnshire. A flash of fiery orange. A flash of fiery orange bounces on dune grass amongst tiny thistles. Seed heads and wild rose waver in the sea-chased breeze. A scutter of clouds dances me home. September is whispering. Swans fading to white imperceptibly, preparing to go before spring arrives. A softer air now. A flash of fiery orange, widening.
Hello, my name's Hugh Gwyn Jones and I'm representing Orkney. This poem's called Oncology. He hides it well, behind the creases and missing front teeth. Craggy is the word, a little worn, preoccupied, less defiant than the brother I used to know, more bluff, less fuck you too. Filing in, they all cling to something, an elbow, a stick, the ground that holds them up. A sense of, not this, not me, I'm just here for an appointment, just waiting my turn. I'm not the one, not yet. Next in line, clumsy as a jangling marionette, is a stick figure giving it all he's got. Skin ripe as plums, touched by the memory of flesh. And I bless the kindliness of green scrubs. A smile. Radiotherapy, take the lift to the second floor. Chemo to the left and through the double door. A temperature check for everyone, but not him. Not the workman padding up and down corridors. Tools strapped to his impressive belt. I'm not one of you. I work here. I fix things and prowl. It's what I do. That gait, though, the swagger, something to do with the hips, like a cat, like Viv Richards, Somerset, summer of '82, willow slung over his shoulder. Prodding at the turf, Viv disguised it well too, his naked aggression, which way he'd pounce, and where the ball would go, out of the ground or into the river, but no hiding that sheer animality, that young muscle, even behind the crease.
James Thompson, Peebleshire. The Tweed. The silver vein in infancy, frae Tweeddale's hills you bleed, speak not of Clyde, the spare Dee, but lonely upper Tweed. Whence benign to growing strength, your journey to begin, towards the east in all your length, our 80 miles to rin. There tarnished spot by human hand, clear waters sparkling clear, your beating heart strong to expand, past Palmwood and Tweedsmuir, where Fraser's Tweedies baith held sway, the lands o' Upper Tweed, where yints sae strong now swept away, their memory all but deed. A myth, some lady she did conceive, in fertile deep Tweed pool, an absent husband to deceive, but ta'en him for a fool. In border history, year 3 it weaves, try hard but to disguise, the bloody death frae cowardly thieves, and Merlin's sad demise. Driva, Stobo, and on to Line, with ne'er a backward glance, where Line and Tweed they new combine, to join, to sing and dance. Brooding Needpus towering was, this ghost that caused it hame, to pine the son o' Tushy Law, Jean Douglas, skin and bane. This jewel that sits upon the croon, where Tweed it occupies, appears and flows through Peevil's tune, your status justifies. The Tweed by James Thompson.
Hello from Perthshire, and what is more Perthshire than raspberries? Ours are thin spindles, slow starters, not fruiting, put to shame by their swanky strawberry neighbours. My sisters are a tangle, a wild flourishing, rosy jewels dropping. She has messaged me a photo, an overflowing bowl, a platter of plenty. My mouth waters, I am thirsty for her conversation, for summer meals around a shared table, fresh fruit and thick West Country cream. But she is south and I am north. We are planted in different soils. Her next picture shows a dozen dark jars gleaming with the promise of a pleasure preserved, a wish deferred, which will keep beyond this divided summer, until we can sit together around the same table and break bread.
My name is Linda Jackson and I'm a writer and a musician, and today I find myself in the beautiful town of Barga in Tuscany. I'm going to read from this book, Wanderlust Women, Extra Baggage. And I'd like to thank Finn Hall for inviting me to be part of this Shires project, Districts in Scotland. I'm originally from Renfrewshire. I lived in Glasgow now for over 30 years, but some part of me still stays in Paisley Town. And Paisley Town has a huge connection to Barga, so all of this fits for me. The poem I'm going to read is a poem about someone else who found themselves in another place at a time in their life. And this is called Chicken. Street practiced in Postle Park, army trained in Salisbury Plain, tall, handsome and straight-backed, he walks the dusty streets near Barsra. A village home to women and children, and a stillness like death, unnerving, but no fear, just trepidation in the tread of the boots scuffled, sand of the desert flies, a light breeze, sweet shapes avert his attention for a split lick of his lips, dried and cracked. The heat is mind-dulling. Yet his eyes swivel behind the visor, black and stark against his sieved face. Emptiness of the path, perhaps vacant dwellings on either side, possibly innocent soft sounds of children, and his heart thumps. His younger brother is back home, waiting. Comrades buried, bandaged wounds. He's willing himself home. Soon, maybe. But these thoughts avert his attention, and that empty street becomes filled, packed. It's packed. A woman child, maybe 13, her hijab winged out by a small gust, dust trips and wafts round her flip-flops, But this is no beach. This is no beach. This is war. His eyes penetrate. A mechanical stare breaches the distance. There is a small bulge just below her heart. Just his pounds and punches. Focus. Focus on that package. The burqa is distended. He calls for her to stop with one hand outstretched, palms spread in a clear sign, surely. He repeats the call she cannot heed, her head bent in prayer, perhaps. She continues towards him, a rug rat, a carrier, a mirage of goodness masking malignant intentions. He calls for her to stop, breathes deep, raises his M16, shooting stance locked, rifle stock tight to the shoulder, and he's stopped dead, free arm position in place. And the rugrat moves a hand over her heart as he fires. One shot. And a chicken squawks and drops down alive.
Hello, I'm Coit O'Neill McCullough and I'm representing Ross and Cromarty. Weir. The weir on the Kiltern shore waits, steady and held fast, but for the ebb that sifts and slakes over her tresses. The weir on the cobbles at Balcony waits for the safe return of the sea, the birth break water, mother wave, a hame-faring lover not lost at all, returns, repairs, renews. And the unruly dance of all living stirs up the Druicket shanty weir and lifts her weeds to freedom.
Hi, I'm Bridget Kashid, representing Roxburghshire. Bridges seduced by Burns. Come with me. Forget your fingers of mere reeds and whitethroat. Whole grass seed peace, the muirfall of autumn. Don't you want to see the tide-fast end of it all? Stanchion stabbing the water in the battle of tide, crusted shell and freshet. This is your migration. Why always be the one return to? Your aching boards, only a recipient of fox pad and mustelid scrape. That pontoon pause, come. Feel even your structured bricks, all neat and tight, shuck away like pearled eyes. Stream deep into my gunshot flood.
Hello, my name is Sharon Elliott, and I'm representing Selkirkshire. Mograi, my heart archives both that which it understands and that which is hidden to understanding. Each touch, caress, kiss, slap, wound, scream, shout, worked out. Bereft of tender regard, of violence done to every sense and string, longing records the need for tenderness, a sharp inhalation on a broken wheel. In the dark, Silent eyes of calling birds notice the grating beats of crows, carrying Merryweather, mugwort, yellow jasmine, and Darjeeling tea. A frozen stream in a far north land, reviled for crimes not committed, opens a small portal, pours whiskey from a cordial glass with a green stem. Red vinegar flows like blood and wine, all the pomegranates sacrificed to thunder. Innocence is not worth keeping, because that which is bestowed when need comes knocking is exhales of scarce breath, duende in fair skin and secret places, fairly given, sweetly taken, laughter in a woman's bed. The candle is lit, wisdom keeps its counsel, benediction of nothing and everything, waiting for the morning dew. Morantang.
Hi, my name is Hannah Nicholson. I am representing Shetland, and this is my poem, Simmer Dim. Eens through the darkness, we'll watch the simmer dim together. There'll be nae night, nae stars to count, and nothing to worry about. Just whist the silence, and a sun that winna set for the time being. A horizon burning orange and the cool air blawing as we enjoy the purples, pinks, and yellows fanning out the bunward heads like a celestial pea cocktail. We'll drink in the night as the sun comes up, then mak our way home with the dawn's light, bliding with togetherness in the June days. Thank you very much.
Whapple Gin, midwinter, invites me over frost-hard earth to rough bark, a warm embrace, unruffleable, in every direction from its quiet spare place, a pulse on the land. 3 herons in the early dug field, spjugs in bare hedges, a flick of crow's wing. Bren Dam, lime-wash blinking like a blackbird's eye to Balachneck, and then it's all distance. Ochels, glints of Stirling street lamps, a sway of smoke from the caperboard at Cowie. Hills fall in line, Gurgunnocks, Fintrees, Campsies, Ben Lomond piers behind Menteith, and back, Thornhill under soft grey light, a string of neighbours settling into the late day.
I'm Mandy Haggith, and I'm representing Sutherland. Back home. This is how McCaig must have felt, returning to Assynt each year, soothed and thrilled by the birches' dance, and the aspens hushing and clapping, egging us on and calming us down in equal measure. An exuberant jostle of lushness, awash with flowers, untamed bushiness thronging without orchestration. What grows is so much more gorgeous than what is grown. Woods so much lovelier than garden. The assemblage so much more alive. Leaves in rampant proportion to the profusion of flowers, life revelling, moths, earwigs, spiders and birds dancing about in all dimensions, frolicking, fighting, fornicating, feeding. There's no watering. The sky does that. No one prepares the ground. It prepares itself, or is joyfully unprepared for the surprises thrown at it. Nothing is sown or planted. Seeds set themselves, or let the wind or animals take them, sometimes contriving their own personal supply of fertiliser. Otherwise, there is no fertiliser. It's all already fertile.
I am Glenn Muir and I am representing West Lothian. Nobody's oyster. Worn smooth by a million ebbing tides, countless oyster shells on a winter beach, garlanded with random ribbons of kelp, just beyond the murky water's reach. Redshanks probe the stranded bladder wrack, though little there is for them to glean. Statuesque, a cormorant dries sodden wings, with a dark and sinister satanic mien. Brown water under a grey and heavy sky, rich seemingly, little fishes there abound. Not easily are they seen or caught, as the goosander and heron have found. The world you will find is nobody's oyster, yet here life and hope still resides, balancing precariously on a knife edge, washed smooth by a million ebbing tides.
I'm Bob Kenyon, and I'm representing the Western Isles, and in particular the island of Harris, where I grew up. The Herach. Ushgebehe, the water of life, which passes all understanding and flows from the Cathedral of Spirits, the saviour of island jobs. The Herach, unveiled following a wave of gin. It was of the sea, you are of the land. Your smokiness reminds me of granny's scones cooked over an open peat fire and slathered in sweet condensed milk. I nose the macher's aroma, daisies, clover, harebell, cloaked in morning dew like tears of fairies. And you will weave your magic like weavers and other artisans who grace these shores. The Herach, the jewel in the crown, Sláinte.
The Hertz sang. Sing then unlock my heart's kiss. It is fu wi skinkling treasure. Burl wi me in the skirling rainbows where we let the licht shine in. Watch as my love wanders back to me, and I gather her into my arms in the mists of these memories. Your sang is the brig, your heart's love is eternal.